Girls Like Us TV. We are so happy to be back with you guys. I know it's been a while since we have done our panel, but we're back and we're better, so we just want to go ahead and start this off. I'm Aisha and I will be the moderator for today.
I'm Jazz.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Keisha.
Ashley is.
Yes. So today, the topic that we will be discussing is very near and dear to my heart. We will be talking about millennials, and more specific, we will be talking about the things that affect us as being a part of this generation. So you guys are not aware, if you were born between 1981 to 1996, you are considered a millennial. Anything before or after will be Generation X if you were born before that, and then after will be Generation Z. Okay, so we are going to get started with the first question that I'm going to ask my girls. Now, does social media affect how you lead your life as a millennial today? For example, do you think about things like where I should be in life, how much money I should be making, am I there yet? So use that as, the example for answering this question.
Okay.
I'll be real. I think it definitely affects how do I put this? You see everybody. The investing thing that everybody's doing now. Nobody was doing that before. Well, no one of our culture was doing that before. But now it's let's hop on a Robinhood. I'm like, dang, they've been missing out on something. Let me go hop on Robinhood. Let me see what it's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel the internet, whether it's fashion, whether it's everything, the internet has everything to do with what we're doing now.
Yeah, and I think you, dang, my throat itches. I think you do look at other people on Instagram sometimes. It's human nature.
Yeah.
You shouldn't compare yourself. You shouldn't think like that because you're doing good in your life. But you do look at it sometimes. You're like, damn, am I doing enough? Should I be doing this too? It's kind of human nature. But sometimes a lot of people on Instagram just flex.
Yeah.
They can be putting it on they got this and that and they living in, you know what I'm saying? So you really just can't let that get in your head. But it is human nature to do it. And I think it does get in a lot of people's head. Yeah. That's why people you see these Instagram baddies and you kind of want to be, people be like, I want to be like that. I want to look like Ari. I want to look like Jada. I want all these Birkins and I don't
Yeah. That'd be whether you admit it or not, you use everything on social media, how you are in real life. If no one was walking around with these hourglass figures or just if you want to know what bag to get, the social media.
Seemingly perfect, because I feel like social media just allows us to portray our version of ourselves that we want people to look at us as. No one's really going to post the lows or anything negative for the most part about our own lives. So I think for the most people, for our culture, we do use social media a lot to kind of gauge where we are and where we should be, and what we strive for. And a lot of people are striving for the wrong things because they're idolizing things that are not within their reach, because most people, like I said, are falsifying their who they really are.
Yeah, and not only that, I feel like it can cause you to have a lot of self-doubt within yourself.
Oh yeah.
You be I don't have a house, I don't have a luxury car, I don't have a bag by this age, and you see everybody else doing that. It can go up and down.
Yeah.
Social media, upwise, millennials are using social media as a form of income now. Social media. Networking, I forgot the right word for it, but when you're making money off networking, that's the thing to do now.
Being an influencer.
Stuff like that.
Everyone wants to monetize their
Anything, whether you were just being able to, the internet is another source of income, and our parents wasn't doing that, and now we made it another lifestyle, just what we do.
Yeah. But some stuff is just not realistic. People will be on Twitter and they'll be like, dang, my man ain't doing this. Your man is a little baby. Why would he keep buying you 7 Birkins? It's
I want my 7 Birkins.
It don't make sense. You're doing fine.
So what I want to add to what everybody said is, I learned this when I was in college. It's called FOMO, and FOMO is fear of missing out. That is something that millennials, we started that. We do not want to miss out. We do not want to be on the back end. We want to be on the front end. And that pretty much comes from, we often say Instagram didn't come out until 2010, 2009. I was in college. I was a sophomore or freshman. And I had no idea social media was going to be what it is today.
For sure.
And the generation behind us, the Generation Z, they lit. Really. Those are the people you see on Instagram and social media.
That's all they know.
That have these they monetize their platforms because they had it longer than us. They were able to do that stuff in middle school, in high school, as opposed to us, you know, although, you know, we got a later start, but now we're like, okay, we see them, and then we look at the other generations, and we're like, dang, you know, wow, we not there yet. Because I know, me personally, I've seen people that are younger than me, and I be like, dang, they more lit than me.
A lot of times, right?
No, Gen Z got the TikTok thing down.
No, seriously.
For sure.
So, yeah, that's just what I wanted to add to it. But to close it out, yeah, I do feel like social media does impact me. I see for myself.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, again, I'm part of it. I don't want to miss out. I want to be doing all the stuff everybody else
And it's not a negative thing. It's just like, it's what we are.
It's just what we are accustomed to.
Yeah. That's why you gotta take social media breaks sometimes. If you can, like mental health days.
Yeah.
Because it gets cloudy.
The next question: why is having a 9-to-5 looked down on versus being an entrepreneur in this generation?
Ooh, I love this.
I don't really know. I was wondering this too because it's a whole debate on Twitter.
It is.
I don't know why it's looked down upon because it's like people who have I don't have a 9-to-5, but people who do have a 9-to-5, you know, they have the benefits, they have the salary. I just think our generation is kind of like obsessed with the hustle mentality. Like I think that's really like what millennials love doing. Like we don't like having a boss. Our generation will quit a job in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, when I did have my I'm a flight attendant, you don't know. I like, you know, my flexible schedule. I only work like 3 to 4 days a week. So I kind of understand, but I don't understand why it's frowned upon though.
Because it's like we're in a culture of lit, and if you're not lit, then you're frowned upon in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that people who have 9-to-5s, for most people, they're looking at the 9-to-5s as the lower paid job, minimum wage job. So it's kind of like, well, you're not lit. I can't really associate myself with you.
And that's not even true.
You're not. It is not. But the millennials, they don't understand that because they grew up in the era of people who are 19, 20 years old being millionaires or thousandaires. So it's just kind of like for them, it's like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. And a lot of them are. So now it's kind of like a lot of people, like you said, they don't like being told what to do. And they like the structure of actual going and clock into a job where somebody else can wake up and make that same money that you just made in a week in literally an hour.
Yeah, I think we got so caught up, like as a millennial, of being able to go to Tulum and be able to, like, but still being able to work. Like, you get paid to go, like, you know, without having to say, oh, I need to put my time in. I ain't got no PTO.
Yeah, it is.
So, like, I mean, like, of course, we all want that. Like, that sounds good. So, when you see people that are doing this, like, I want to be that too, but then we forget that 9-to-5 are the people who gonna check you if you sick. They taught your kids.
They teach your kids.
They gonna get you out of jail, give you a lawyer. So, like, 9-to-5 people are lit, but I think people forget that. I also think, like, I have a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still go to school or wherever I want.
I feel like our generation, like with a 9-to-5, like we're so used to seeing the entrepreneur like on social media, and that's like what we kind of became accustomed to. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with the 9-to-5.
Yeah.
And I feel like you should make your 9-to-5 like kind of work for you. So
Right.
like, I'll use myself as an example. So for me, I work in the real estate industry, but right now it's like mostly
Specified.
Yeah, mostly specified to like the title industry. But for me, I want to know like all areas of real estate because I'm trying to open up my own brokerage one day.
Yeah.
So I feel like your 9-to-5 should be like tied to like your dreams, your goals.
Yeah.
Stepping stone.
Yeah.
Stepping stone.
But also, I think we should say, like, I'm not like this personally, but sometimes people are comfortable in their 9-to-5 and that's what they want to do. And I think we should normalize if that's what that person wants to do. Like if Ashley didn't want to use it as a stepping stone to a different dream, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like people can do what they want in their life. I don't know why it's like society like judges others for what they want to do. If you want to work 9-to-5, work a 9-to-5.
And
if you want to use
that's-
it as a gateway, use it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I truly feel like sometimes we just put our feelings off on what we think others should be doing. We just need to just worry about ourselves. And again, even you want to do that. Keisha being an entrepreneur, Ashley doing both. It just ties back into our generation because prior to, again, the advent of social media, we was fine with going to college.
That's how I was.
That was my dream, was to go to college, working and advertising, and I was fine with that.
Right.
But then when I got on social media and I see it's other avenues, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are fine, but I do see a lot of people say, oh, well, you ain't got no business. What you gonna do? You need to start
Everybody
something. You
can't
need to
run a
invest.
business, though.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just, we need to, prime example, my parents are baby boomers. They was born in 1960. So with that being said, they be confused when we be quitting jobs. You mentioned that earlier. When my parents literally be like, well, you've only been there for 2 years. Why are you looking for another job? They don't understand that. But their generation was not taught that. They were taught to stay at their job, get their pension, 20 plus years, and die for their job and get them retired. As opposed to our generation, we're not trying to wait till we 45 to retire. We trying to retire at 30. Like, that's just how we think. So
because I think what having a 9 to 5 is more of a limited construct of how much financial gain you can have, whereas entrepreneurship is way,
it can keep growing.
It's growing and growing and growing. And with the society, the lifestyle that a lot of people are trying to obtain these days, most 9 to 5 can't really afford those lifestyles. Some people are living above their means and not realizing what is actually important and necessary. Because even when they get the money, they're not spending it how they need to.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. But however, I definitely feel as though like that's exactly what's going on.
And it's funny. Oh, sorry. Okay. I think it's also funny that Aisha brought up parents because it's like also when we be doing like our videos or our businesses, they don't even like take it serious unless they see like until the end. They think playing around doing videos. They know what I'm saying? Yeah, like if you say, oh, I'm filming, like they don't really care because it's like they don't take it as serious.
Yes, they think it's. Oh, I'm glad you said that. That's so true. I have many friends who parents literally almost shut them out because it's like, oh, you going to school to be a dancer, you going to school to be a rapper or whatever.
Yeah.
They want them to be doctors and nurses and lawyers, and that's fine. But it's like,
because you got to get with the times. Because even when I go, I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years now. So anything that I have to prove income wise is from being an entrepreneur. And anyone of a certain age bracket, whenever I go and buy something or try to get something, like I literally have to plan out and explain to them how I'm making my money because it's just so unbelievable. Like you're doing, so you film it and you let me look you. Well, what? Like so you did this and you making this? Like, are you serious right now? So it's really funny how you say that because even my dad, when I first said I was going to do this, coming from Spelman, a lot of people like YouTube and you went to Spelman, like why you wasting your degree? Like it's not making
and you got looked down on in the beginning. I'm sure they was like, why you doing that?
My teachers, a lot of my professors, peers, like everyone just was like, yeah, that's just like you're gonna get that as a long shot. Now everybody is starting a YouTube channel. Everybody trying to grab a man off the street and have a couple channels. Like honestly, like everyone is realizing like, look at this lifestyle that these entrepreneurs are living, and they want that. Like no one wants out. No one wants to miss out.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's where it's messed up at because people are forgetting like, are you still gonna push your children to go to college? Like people are saying, like you're getting all these degrees, and like people are not using their degrees no more.
I think a lot of people not using them, but people still going though.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that. Now that brings us into our next topic: are millennials making education as much of a how it used to be? Is that a priority?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what it was like. Because people are saying, like that's what the question was. Like on Twitter, it was like this girl. She was like, she's not gonna push her child to go to college. There's too many other options out here. She don't need a degree. But I was like, for me, like I'm still gonna always tell them, push and motivate the whole college thing. Cause like, what if it don't work out? Like I think college should always be like whether it's a backup plan or whatever you want to call it. But you can always get the education to what you want to be. If you want to be an actress, go to school for film. If you want to be a photographer, go to school to be go to photography school. But I think you should always get education behind that.
And it's so unfortunate for me to say, even going to Spelman, I love going to Spelman. However, as beautiful as Spelman was, it is a very expensive school. And being where I am right now, I'm like, did I really have to go to Spelman to do what I'm doing right now? Absolutely not.
What was your degree in?
But
a theater major, but political science minor. But
at least that's kind of
I'm paying so much in debt. And then a lot of things that people don't tell you is once you make a certain amount of money, like even if let's just hypothetically say the president does decide to cut out student debt relief and all that stuff, there's a cap at how much you can make before that you qualify for that. And being an entrepreneur, that's a lot of things they don't tell you. Once you make a certain cap, you don't qualify for a lot of those things. And I wouldn't qualify because of my income. So now I'm still gonna be left to pay all this debt off and everything like that. I'm personally still gonna push all of my children to go to school, because preferably Spelman, I hope they do go there. And I really believe in a good education for them. But I get it. Like, I can understand why, for this reason alone, just the debt that comes with it. If you have produced generational wealth, like the position I'm putting my children in, I want them to already come into a lifestyle that they don't feel like they have to be dependent on something like going to college if that's not absolutely necessary. Mm-hmm. If they come straight out of high school, which we're starting business for them now. Mm-hmm. So if they come out of high school and they're millionaires already, or to a certain tax bracket, then I'm not going to say you absolutely just have to go. This is the end of the world if you don't go. Yeah, I get it, but I'm still going to push them. I definitely understand it.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have your degree in film from film, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say some kind of craziness happened and YouTube just like deleted this stuff off the world. Mm-hmm. But you will still have that background from being in YouTube, and you have your degree from Spelman. I feel like that would still get you like a better job if you only did YouTube and didn't have a degree from Spelman. Yeah. I feel like you would get like this crazy job just because you have the Spelman name and you have all the YouTube experience. So I feel like
but for me, it's like I have so many different businesses that are now affording me the same money I'm making with YouTube. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if YouTube fell off the face of the earth, I still got this. Like I'm trying to say, I'm trying. But I think for me personally, like now that I see the financial side of being an entrepreneur, like I get it. Like I honestly, truthfully get it. Like if it's just not necessary to have to go give your money away, then I get it. However, like I said, for me personally, I do want my daughters to be able to say, I have that education, I have that college degree. Yeah. But a lot of people say social media may fall and close today, tomorrow. Yeah, and you may get fired from your hospital job, or you may get fired from your office job being an attorney. I know some people who passed the bar and they still haven't been able to obtain a career. Like I know a lot of different variables. So you just gotta get it how you get it and figure it out how you figure it out. And I know for me, that's why I don't just rely on just one income. I have several businesses to follow suit. So that's why I'm gonna raise my daughters to have that same mindset. Just don't rest on one thing, have backups. Even if it's backup businesses, you just need to have some type of form of backup.
Right, and so that's, because I wanted to interject really quickly because I actually just had this conversation with somebody. I'm at a stage now where the way I'm one of those people, I'm like a chameleon. I see the times changing, I move with the times. And I'm just being honest. I see it. I'm like, the times are changing. And I literally just had this conversation with my girlfriend in St. Martin. I definitely think, no, seriously, yesterday, I definitely feel as though that is not going to matter. School's not going to matter. So it's going to be, it's literally probably going backwards. It's going to be about experience. And I just kind of feel like when I do have, I think.
Well, ain't nobody gonna have no doctor or surgery or no experience.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about jobs. Any job that is dealing with that still requires experience. They're not just gonna swoop nobody out the street and say you need to be a doctor. What I'm not saying school is not gonna matter, but what I'm saying is I remember a time where you wasn't going to UGA or Spelman or these top brand schools, you wouldn't get no good job. That's what I remember. Yeah. And now you can go to ICBC college and get a good job. That's what I mean by I don't think education, in my opinion, is not gonna when I have kids and they get to that age of going to school, I think what's gonna be more important is them having a trade and being a top tier jack of the trade. Whether it's school, whether it's a business owner, whether it's a doctor, that's what I want my kids to focus on. I'm not gonna push. My parents didn't do that to me, and I think I turned out fine. And I did choose to go to college. My parents didn't go to college, so they didn't care. They just wanted me to have a job. Right. So I'm just saying, I feel like I'm gonna be that kind of parent because I want them to love what they're doing. Yeah. I don't want to force or tell them, oh, you should go to school. And school might not even be nothing in the next 10 years. I mean, we don't really know.
I think also though, like outside of education, when it comes to school, the college experience is one like no other. Like when people tell me that, like, you know, they went to the military and stuff, and I just think like, dang, you missed the college experience. It teaches you so much stuff outside of just education. If you guys been to college, you guys know. It's just a whole, you learn so much. So I just feel like I hope that's never forgotten.
Because going to college is different than just getting that degree.
Yeah, that's like there's so much that like just plays into it. So it's just I hope it doesn't.
But
I
love the experience. But like Keisha brought up, because I'm on your side with that. It's just see so many people went to college, they was turned. Yeah, you had that experience, but you not doing nothing with the degree. And you got all this debt that you got to pay back.
Yeah.
I just want my kids, and God, you know, I hope this happen. If they're not going for free, I'm not pushing them to go. They can go if they want to, but if they're not going for free. I mean, more so, not even sports, just they need to have them grades. I just want them to have the opportunity to go for free. That's just what my thought process is. Because that debt is just next level. And we, as black people, it's different for us.
Yeah.
We always don't have it. Our parents don't have money. So we have to get it literally out the mud. Our credit be messed up before we even get a credit card because we're black. So that's all I'm saying. My bad's going left. Go ahead, somebody else.
But not only that, like I feel like the reason education was put like such a big emphasis on for our generation. Like I know you said your parents didn't like force you or like push you.
Yeah.
But for me, my mom was like, nah, y'all going to college. Like they they put a big like
Either that or the military.
They had a choice.
Yes. And so I feel like we learned that college is important.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next. This is getting good, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next one. So, do you ladies feel pressure of like having kids, getting married? You know, with us, you know, getting close to 30.
Oh wow.
The dirty 30.
The dirty 30. You know, do you guys feel that pressure? Like, you know how y'all feel?
Absolutely.
Let me go first.
That's right up her alley.
Okay, so you absolutely feel that pressure, but I want to say up until now, it used to be really annoying because I was in a relationship damn near my whole, from a senior in high school until I graduated in 2016. And I felt like I missed out on a lot of stuff. Like my whole undergrad, I was in a relationship, like I didn't do nothing. I didn't party that much. I didn't road trip with my line sisters to other colleges out of respect for my boyfriend. And I felt like I missed out on so much because I was in a relationship for 6 years. So when I got out of that relationship, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in my 20s, I can live my life. But also since I kind of started out a little late, like jazz or whatever, you know, then it's like, okay, now she's married, she's having kids. And it is kind of like, she kind of wants you to settle down, but it's like, I just kind of got out of here, you know what I'm saying? So, but now I'm in a point in my life now where I do like, I'm done with like how that was like a few years ago. And I'm like, okay, I can settle down, but them first 2 years when you fresh out of a relationship, you just want to have fun, you want to live life, live your 20s. But you do feel that pressure, and you feel the pressure of just being a woman and like, okay, if I turn 30, do I need to freeze my eggs? You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to. Also, I have no control of that either because I kind of want to do it. I want to do it the traditional way. Like I want to be married before I have a kid. I kind of want to do it the traditional way. So I'm just waiting till that time. But you do feel pressure. I feel a lot of pressure from Jazz, and I do be feeling the pressure.
Listen, it's not that. Okay, well, for
Especially
me,
in the beginning.
and she don't mean it negatively, because I don't mean it negatively.
Oh yeah, don't take us serious.
I
It's
know.
not.
But like for me, like I was not playing with my plan. Okay, I was having kids and married by 25, and that's exactly what I did. I used to say like, all right, if I had it by 25, then get me a sperm number.
Yeah, she was crazy.
I thought that was crazy, but I'm not sure if I would have did that or not. But David came in right on time. But it's just because I wanted, like, I had my kid, like, let me slow down. So my plan was to have kids by like 25. So I would tell all my friends that. I would tell, like, when I met David, I told David that, like, I was serious, like, I had my plan. And it wasn't, like, and yeah, most of it because, you turn 30, things ain't working the same no more. You kind of got to, like, put a little pressure in the system. But I also wanted to, by the time I get, like, 27, I wanted to be able to, my kids going to school, then I can spend the rest of my time retiring, traveling. Like, when I turn 40 years old, they get ready to get older, they go to college, then me and David can go move to Jamaica for a whole 3 months if you want to,
See, and mine is kind of like the opposite. Mine was kind of like, I want to like travel. Before COVID hit, I was in a different country every month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to travel, live my best life. And then when my husband comes along, then we have kids and we travel together. And
I just don't want to be 40 and my kids are like, I still got to feel like what's hot.
I get what you're saying. It go either way.
Yeah, because I'm still traveling and living my best life now. Just because, like it takes a village to raise kids. So like it never scared me to like worry about having kids young and like what I'm gonna do because, now I'm working on my body, like I'm still living my life, I'm going out drinking party, like it don't stop my show.
Yeah.
And then when I tell Ashley, I'm always like, all right, now it's time to like, where my little nieces and nephews at, and like I joke about it to both of them. But that's like in a negative way, just because I need my whole squad to have a little squad.
Well, also Jazz and Keisha too. Sorry, I just what I want to say. Y'all also have a lot of help, and I think that's what also scares me when it comes to having kids, because both my parents don't live in the same state as me, and then my stepdad done moved like an hour away. So I literally like when I have a kid, like I ain't gonna be able to just my mom's up the street. You know what I'm saying? And I know I have y'all, but it's still not the same because with your mom, you can literally be like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't just drop my kids. So it's like when I go to that stage, it's not gonna be like just on go and being able to move, or even when I'm like, if my kids or my friends with moms, I can call Aisha and be like, Aisha, let's go here. I can't do that to Jazz and Keisha because they have kids. So it's kind of like I always go back and forth in my head.
But that's why these two ladies are a perfect example of just do what works for you.
Yeah.
Like, just don't, it is a lot of pressure. People are having children much younger. People are having children at diamond, like, what's all these rappers, what's his name, NBA Youngboy, prime example. Like, everyone is just doing whatever works for them. And you have to not get outside of what works. Jazz had a plan, she stuck to her plan and worked for her. She's living her best life, married with her children, she's happy. Ashley's traveling, she's able to experience the life she missed out upon, and it's working for her. Me, I'm a relationship type of girl. I know I wanted to have kids and I wanted to be settled down with one guy, and it's working for me. And these ladies are doing exactly what's working for them. So you just can't get so caught up. Kids are a big financial responsibility. So me personally, the only thing I had in mind, I didn't care about what anybody else was saying about when I should have or when I shouldn't have. I just knew as long as I can financially take care of my children with or without a man, then I should be okay. And I wanted to make sure that I gave them a household of two parents that love them so they can grow up with that. My parents divorced when I was in first grade, so it was very important for me. Something that was important was for my children to grow up with both of their parents in a household and have an example of real love and happiness. That's just my personal preference. But we all see today, and that's why social media, like we said earlier, has become really, really tragic and very, very draining, because everything you see is not what you get. There's a lot of different powerful couples like other YouTubers, and I'm not gonna name drop, but whoever you want to fit in, who fits this. But there are couples who've been together and the couple goals, hashtag couple goals. Everybody loves them. He's perfect for her, she's perfect for him. Go get married, go have kids, go do this. The sky's the limit, and then things happen. And you never knew things were going on behind the scenes and things like that. That's why you can't always pressure people, because you never know what fits for them at that time.
That's why being a millennial is lit, because we don't do what we want. We don't
True.
care.
Rebels. True
Yes,
rebels.
like that's why we live, because we really don't care.
Yeah, so as far as pressure and having kids and being married, I'm going to be honest, I'm just grateful to God that I don't feel that pressure. I'm more so at a place in my life right now where if it's going to happen for me, it's going to happen. Now, I am in a relationship, and I absolutely feel like he's the one. However, as Keisha just mentioned, I'm not a person that's big on PDA. I'm more so like, I got somebody, y'all know I got somebody, I see a hand, a foot, something in, I'm just being honest, but as far as just going head first, I did that in my past, and I just feel like I want to be happy in real life. And as far as marriage and kids are concerned, like I absolutely want to be married, I want to have kids, but I'm more so kind of where Ashley is with the thought process of, I want to live, I want to see what's going on now where it's just me. Because all of my, not all of them, but majority of all my friends have kids. So I think that is what pretty much helped me or cultivated how I think and how I see that. Because and I mean, my friends don't mind, because I mean, I love them, they know I love them, but they're not married. And they told me themselves, like, please wait. Like, it's like, don't get me wrong, they love their kids, they'll die behind them. But it's just it's not no pressure. And my friends, literally from day one of my friends had her child in high school. I've seen this my whole life. So I think that's what made me just kind of I never was pressed. I never played with baby dolls growing up. I never was just so, I'm just telling y'all like my transparency. I never was the girl who was like, I can't wait to have kids. The most I ever think about kids is what their names are going to be. I just never was that girl, so I really think that's probably why.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I
that's
do
how
want
we want.
kids, and I can't wait to have them, but I just never just laid in my bed kind of thinking about that. Or even being married, I just like, if it's gonna happen, God is gonna put it in my life. But right now, I'm just happy that I'm my responsibility right now, and that works for me.
Yeah. So I'm kind of in the middle between Jazz and Ashley. I do want to get married and have kids and settle down and all that, but at the same time, like, I still want to, do hood right-ish with my friends on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, Jazz, how do you balance that? Because you're married and you have a baby, but I feel like as a wife, you kind of like, you're held to a certain standard. So people kind of like look at you a little crazy if you.
They don't because I do hood rat stuff with my friends and my niggas, so it's kind of like.
But Jazz, you kind of have it different,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot, like your situation is different than a lot of
That's how do y'all say
people.
that?
It is because, like Aisha said, like you're a unicorn, and it comes to because David lets you live.
Yeah.
A lot of people be stuck in situations.
But that's because y'all choosing the wrong man.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
That's
if that's what we always see, like how, like if that's what we see outside of you, it makes it seem
That's
like,
how it's supposed
hey,
to be.
I don't want this headache right now. Let me wait a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but sometimes,
That's
like,
why you need to wait, because when you know, you know. Like,
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not saying this about Jazz, but when I'm married, I want to be a wife. I want to be a real one, like the ones that be at their house at them games, and I don't want, like, I ain't gonna lie.
That's exactly
Y'all, if y'all follow me on social media, actually, I be out every weekend. And my man is he accepts being who I am, but if I ever become his wife and have his kids, I don't want to be doing all that. That's why I'm going crazy
You're
now.
gonna do it differently. Like, of course you don't want to be in the house because y'all gonna get tired of that.
yeah.
But of course you're gonna cook, you're gonna clean. Like, it's gonna be a schedule. It's gonna be a system.
And they go out
It's
together.
Yeah, it's gonna hit. It's just gonna hit.
But y'all also 27. See, I'm more so looking 30. At 35, I don't know if I want to
No,
be.
you're right. Not gonna be.
That's all. That's my mindset.
See, that's a different time period.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
But I've heard mainly women who like have gotten married. They've said like since they are married now, like they don't want to, like go to the club with the weekends. Even like if it's just like out with the girls, like every now and then, like kind of like what Aisha said, like
Yeah, no, that's different. I'm talking about going out every weekend and I got kids. I just don't want to. That's why I'm like, I'm cool on that.
But me and Jazz went out the other day or whatever, and some people as wives feel like they can't do that.
yeah.
Or they feel like people look at them crazy because they are out, and don't got time for that. But I don't know, like, how is it supposed to be? I don't know. It's just kind of like
There's no one rule, and I think that's the problem. So many people think that there's a rule of how life is supposed to go, and you just have to live your life. That's why you can't listen to the naysayers. You can't listen to the noise around you.
But you gotta know it's healthy because
Yeah.
if you feel like you want to go out, but your man is telling you no, you can't go out, that's not healthy. So it's all
For sure.
Yeah, so you just gotta be, as long as your relationship is healthy,
Yeah.
you have balance, you have self-care.
And you know yourself first before the relationship. Like how Aisha, she knows herself outside of wife material.
Like his
Some
guy,
women only know that submissive role, and then you get lost in it somewhere, and then you 10 years in, and you realize your whole life then went by, like how we were in a relationship for so long, and those were toxic people. So our whole college years went by, and we missed out. I know I didn't go. I only went to one party my entire 4 years. Literally one party, and it was like the first week of college was the only party I went to, and I was and I literally sat back the other day, and I was like, I don't know if God just set me up because He really knew like I had what it took to be a good businesswoman, entrepreneur. I never thought about being an entrepreneur. I always thought about being on a big screen. So I never fathomed, never dreamt it. Nothing ever crossed my mind about being an entrepreneur. Even some of the businesses were handed to me, and I feel like, really? Like, I don't see that as me, and now look at me. So that's what I'm saying. You just got to kind of sort of know yourself and know exactly what you want and stand on that. And once you, and even if you fall and you got to dust yourself back up and keep going, because life is going to keep going too.
Right. As you guys know, the big 30, the dirty 30, the 3-0. You guys hear that all the time, that number. Why is that number just like, oh my God, that's the cutoff date? And then I also want to tie in, why do we feel like, oh my God, I'm about to hit 30. I'm not a business owner, or I haven't tapped into my field yet. I don't make this money. Why do we feel like we failed if we're not doing it yet?
That's the cap on life number right there.
I don't know, and I hate it because everybody in their 30s, they say like those are times
It's
where
their best year.
it was the best year.
Yeah.
Once you
Because,
get
like,
there,
you get you're more comfortable financially. So I don't know why it's that I don't know why it's like that. It's so annoying though.
Because after that, it's 40. After that, you know, it's like.
That's how it happens.
That's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
No,
what it is.
so
After
like-
30 is 40, 40 is 50 is 50.
And that's like,
Look at
you
Chris
can't go to
Jenner.
certain places. After
Like,
30, you got
that
to
lady
be
is
between
still
being
living
young,
her
you know?
best. Like, how old is she? Like
60,
60?
yeah.
60 something. That like, look at Chris. Like I was watching her. She be getting it on, and
I'm so
she
wearing it.
traveling, looking good. J-Lo, she's in her fit. Look at J-Lo. Like,
I think it's because, you know what? I just got it. I think it's because when our parents were like 30, they weren't living how we live.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what we see. Like,
just got it.
yeah, it just came to my head. When our parents, because I know like when I be traveling, going to all these countries, my parents be like, you need to sit down. Like, you be on go. And I'm like, that's because y'all didn't do that stuff. Like, y'all were just parents really and just stayed in the house. Like,
True.
they didn't really like live that type of
Millennials,
life. So it's like, I feel like that's why we kind of got in our head, like, oh, we got to really sit down.
Yeah.
But that's when you kind of start living, right?
I actually feel like more so the reason is when you start college, you're like 18, 19.
Yeah.
And then when you finish college, you're like 21, 22. So I feel like once you hit that 21, 22 mark, you're like, okay, I got 8 years. I should have my life together by 8 years.
Man.
And I just think we don't think like 8 years like went like this.
Shit happens, yeah.
I was just yesterday graduating college at Georgia State, and now I'm like, dang, that was 10 years, like almost 10 years ago now. So I'm saying that to say like we don't realize that things take time and things are not ever gonna happen how we think it's gonna happen. When I was 18 years old, I literally said, oh yeah, I'll probably be married with 2 kids by 24. I thought that was normal.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that it's not normal,
Yeah.
but I just was like, everybody who was older, like those ages, I thought they had their life together. I thought at 24, you had your life together because I'm like, I'm 18, I know I ain't got my life together. But when I turned 24, I said, dang, I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's more so why we just be like thinking we have that time, and then when the time passes and we about to be 30, it's like, dang, I ain't there yet.
I think
Scary.
it's like your 20s, like you're given a lot of leeway to kind of like figure out what you want in life, whether it's your career, like your relationship, what kind of spouse you want. So by the time you're 30, it's kind of like, okay, well, I had my 20s to kind of like figure out what I like, what I don't like. So by the time you're 30, you should kind of be like, well, I know what I want, so I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z to go get it.
And then
Yeah.
like 30 is when medical stuff start getting like
35, yeah.
Yeah.
35, you keep saying 30.
Oh, it's 35?
It's 35.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It took
Like,
me
that's a
down
good
if you go
layoff.
to the doctor and go check your head count.
Yeah, they start. It's like what's seriously. Once you hit them 30, that's when you gotta start checking for stuff. Like stuff will start aching. and it'll
35,
start-
y'all. Don't listen to Jay.
But no, seriously, like I heard people say like in their 30s after having a baby in their 30s was a lot harder
Oh,
than
no,
like
yeah,
after
for
they
sure.
were in their 20s.
Your body is not the
Yeah,
same.
like
When
your
you're
body
at-
changes.
it's no,
Yeah.
like seriously, if you look it up, it really do say that.
Yeah.
But there's different if you do your research and you get your stuff right down. That's why you're saying you can't get yourself caught because somebody right now watching this video like, oh my god,
Girl, get in that bed.
you know, you just
You're
gotta
not
know
alone. You're not alone,
and,
child.
and prepare yourself. If you're doing the things that you need to do, because we were trying for our
Do them
twins,
Kegels.
and I wasn't planning for a baby before, so I wasn't doing my research and trying to figure out what I need to be doing for my body. And for me, I don't smoke, I don't drink, so those weren't really issues. But if you drinking it up and smoking it up your whole 20s, sometimes that could be a detriment to your body. So just prepare yourself if you know that's something you want to do down the road, but don't stress yourself out and don't get too caught up because we were trying and we were so stressed out trying to have the girls, and it took 3 months, and then boom, we weren't even trying to have Jory, and it just came. So I'm like, dang, I thought that my body was out of whack, and little did I know, now I'm on edge. Every month I'm on edge. Please let it come, please let me stop.
I truly feel like this has been like a great back and forth, ladies. Like we really have gotten to the nitty gritty. So I'm gonna ask one last question. How do you go about, or do you guys think it's okay rather to push/motivate your friends outside of their comfort zones? Like how we talked about earlier with being entrepreneurs, you talked about we need teachers, we need those people to be in the medical field. But again, we're millennials, and then we see people monetizing their platforms. We see people having OnlyFans. We see people doing, I'm just saying, we see people doing other avenues of making money. So now it's like, okay, do we need to, like, dang, my friend keep talking about she ain't got money or she don't make enough. Girl, you need to be, do you feel like it's okay for us to, like, tell them what they should do?
Oh, yeah.
We always, I push each other all the time. Like I'm like, actually, let's make make this event. Let's go do this. Like, I'll be like, hey, what we trying to do? Like, I'm gonna always push y'all to, just because if it's more out there, I'm gonna tell y'all about it. What y'all do with it is up to y'all.
Right.
But I'm definitely like, and I want to hear it too. Like, I expect that feedback from my friends, just because I want all us to win. I think that's millennial. We want each other to win. And that's what I like about us, because we don't try to hide stuff.
Everybody out.
When gang is gang, they always gonna try to make all of us be up, and I think that's what millennials.
Yeah, and I think we all really do a good job of that. Like I know Aisha called me every day talking about where the money resides.
Yeah.
Like we do a really good job. I mean, that's why we do this together. Like we do a good job of, you know, motivating each other, uplifting. Nobody's like envious of each other. Everybody try to help each other. And I think you should have friends like that. If you don't, you need to like kind of reevaluate your friends, because you don't never want to get stagnant. You don't ever want to get comfortable. Like you want everybody to eat, so when we all can be old and just rich with our mimosas in our hands and kidding from
Because I hate when people like, because that's the thing, everybody trying to be business entrepreneurs, YouTubers, influencers, but like are y'all reposting y'all friends? Like, y'all, like it don't take that long. That's why you see this post on Instagram, like the things you can do without paying for it, share their stories, comments. Like help your people out. Like I can't stand to see people not sharing our reposts when they see their friends coming up all this stuff, because it's like you got friends who coming out with these clothing lines. Like these can be the like couture lines, like the what's happening lines. Like if everybody start wearing it, then that's like the new Gucci. Gucci's good because everybody's wearing it, but we can make our friends' lines be the what's happening. Like I see Aisha like rocking her people's stuff all the time because everybody rocking it, then that's the what's happening. Like you know what I'm trying to say?
That's what happened with the Telford bags.
Yeah.
Like black people started making it a luxury item.
Yeah.
It became a luxury.
Like we can make the it stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and just to add to that point, I absolutely motivate my friends, but I'm very careful and conscious of what friends, not like what friends to motivate, but I've actually had discussions, and me and my friends have had back and forth. And just like we said earlier, everybody don't want to be an entrepreneur. Everybody doesn't want to make more money. And sometimes, and a lot more times than least, my friends always say, "Oh, I need more money. I want to have more money." And then it's like you tell them what to do and they still don't do it. And it's like at some point I have just learned just like, okay, read the room and push up. Sometimes you can say, girl, you should do this, you need to do that. But it's like you have to see where people at sometimes. And sometimes your friends can even say to you like leave me alone. I don't want to do that. And I've actually had told people that, and people told me that, like, girl, I'm good. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, you know who you close to, who you can say that stuff to.
Right.
And who won.
Yeah, I usually wait until someone asks me, like, or try to, you know, get some assistance. I'm the friend that a lot of people go to for promotional stuff, so I'm glad that I can help my friends out in that avenue. But a lot of my friends, most of my friends are actually bosses. Like, even if they have a 9-to-5, like, they're doing something that works and suits them.
Right.
So I don't really have to kind of navigate, and like H said, I kind of just sort of stay in my lane, and I don't try to dictate or control anybody's household unless it's directly asked of me, because we've grown at this point, and I'm not here trying to raise, you know, grown people and tell like, hey, let me sit down and talk to you. Like, if you don't want better for yourself, I can't want better for you, type of thing. But I also like I kind of sort of peep out the people who aren't trying to get there on their own, and then I kind of fall back, because it's like now you're gonna keep me down because all you want to do is do the wrong thing, and that's not what this is about. Right. So I think my circle right now, I'm in a very healthy circle with my friends. And then, you know, COVID, a lot of unfortunate things. So I did encourage, this was the first time I really did try to encourage a lot of my friends to try to figure it out, because I saw so many of them stressed out with getting laid off immediately. So I tried my best to try to like, okay, well, what is something you like to do? Let me see if I can help you through it, or tell you how to financially get yourself to the next level, because that is a very sucky feeling when, you know, you just cut off employment one day. Right. But yeah, overall, like I said, I feel like everybody should just do what they do. Don't feel the pressure of being or doing what other people are doing. And just step your ish up.
And that's one thing, Keisha, you reminded me. Now that's one thing I have been hollering to my friends about, but like I said, when they was like, didn't make the next step, I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing again. But cryptocurrency, I've been hollering about that lately. Because I just feel like as black people, we were taught to save. And I feel like other ethnicities were taught to invest. And you know, we're behind. We're 100 plus years behind. We're way behind. So I now that I have been screaming to the heavy tops as of lately. But I ain't saying nothing else, because when I'm rich and sitting on the yacht somewhere with my glass,
going to the moon.
You know what I'm saying? long, but I told y'all 10 years ago. But yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I can see that going bad with like trying to like tell your friends like, oh, you need to do this and do that. Like if they're doing something that's not really making no money, but if it's their passion, like if they like love, say like, I don't know, what's the job?
Kids. Like both of you, like you like kids and maybe.
Yeah, and that whatever they're doing, it's not making no money, but they love that shit. They gonna stick with it, like just because they love it. But you kind of like try to deter them from that, like.
Yeah, because I would hate for somebody to start telling me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do that, but I'm still like get my other grinds together. But I love working with my kids. I would never.
Yeah,
But I think what Ashley's trying to say is people just be kind of happy where they are, and if they don't want to be involved in all that stuff, because that does take. You gotta think all the extra stuff that we be doing. That takes extra time.
You gotta have
some people like
to
to just some people like to just clock in, clock out, and lay on that couch and.
it's kind of like just like knowing your boundaries with your friends. But like if you have friends like that, like you know it might could strain a relationship.
Yeah.
And you just gotta know like. What
Girl, stop asking me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the working out thing. Like I know during quarantine when I started, I was trying to get everybody to work out, and then some of my friends is just. I'm like, well.
Yeah, that was funny. You was getting so much.
Yeah, and I was really getting so mad because I be wanting it so bad for other people.
So glad I was pregnant.
And then, that was a great time. But I had to realize, like, you can't want more for somebody than want for themselves. So then I just started just working with people who wanted to, like, I just get so wrapped up in the feeling, the, like, satisfaction. But you gotta realize, like, certain people don't want to work out.
Yeah.
Right.
So this was amazing. I think that we had this was great. I loved it. I just want to close off by saying, take your time. You have time. If you're a millennial, you're listening to this right now. I just want you guys to know you have time. And no matter where you are in your life, it's always time. You haven't went to school yet. You want to start that business. You just want to be a mom, a soccer mom, and you don't want to work. You want that man to take care of you. Whatever you want to do.
I'll get that point.
Look, whatever you want to do it. Nobody's stopping you, and whatever God has planned for you is going to happen. Thank you guys so much for staying with us, Girls Like Us TV, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye.